Hey guys, welcome to Fence Armor's channel. It's a new format we're trying here a little bit. It's kind of like a variety channel, and I'm really fortunate to have my good friend here, Bruce Zimmerman, well-known horticulturalist and all-around expert when it comes to the garden. And certainly he's experienced himself fence armor, and I thought it'd be nice for him to introduce himself.
Thanks, Al. I've been doing gardening radio for close to 30 years, and I'm a garden writer as well. But I've also worked in different aspects of the industry. And when I was out taking an actual day off, I heard let's say, the neighbor taking out my fence posts. And when I went to look later on when he wasn't around, well, guess what? He's been chewing it up, and the fence was about, I would say, 10 or 12 years at that time. And as a result, what you've got is a chewed up fence on one side. Of course, my side was, well, I have to admit, not exactly immaculate. It certainly was not suffering. And as a result, I went looking for something to protect my fence post from the, let's say, the neighbors and the landscapers that were trimming the post as much as they were trimming the weeds.
Well, that's interesting, Bruce. You know, it's our product is fairly new, and people in general, they believe that it's just the nature of things. If your grass runs perpendicular to your fence, then you're just going to have damage if you're going to use a weed whacker. No matter how careful you are, these new weed whackers are so powerful.
Yeah, and they are powerful. I've got one, and it is powerful, where I can actually trim at the same time. I'm not just trimming grass, I'm actually going and trimming into the dirt so that I can get a nice sharp edge. So that's powerful, and that's electric. Can you imagine what the gas-powered ones are like? What I found was that when I went to go and look at the posts and do that, the amount of damage was such that I found that I had to treat the posts before I could go ahead and use your product. And so what I did was I put end cut on all the posts where they had been chased up by the weed trimmers, and let it dry, and then installed the fence armor, and it has worked very, very well, and it has stood up to the same neighbors and the same people
Right.
for the number of years that I've got it. And I was an early adapter, and I have never had to change one piece yet.
Well, I'm glad. You know, obviously we're using galvanized steel, but this is the same steel we use on cars, we use on washing machines, sewing machines, all kinds of equipment. It's 22 gauge galvanized steel. It's going to last effectively for as long as you're going to have your fence.
I actually had a piece of equipment go along and scrape one of my fence armors, and that was a number of years ago, and it put scratches on it, but even those scratches have not gone and been rusted or anything else, or showing no wear at all. So that means it stood up to a piece of equipment running along and hitting that post and scraping the fence armor, the galvanized one, by the way. And it was a full wrap, and it's that really impressed me when you can do that.